elimination and substitution differ in the sense of, we still have two equations, okay? We're still trying to solve for the variables, and you still gotta plug it back in and solve for the other variable. Okay, where you get a difference is the setup of equations, okay? And I'm just gonna write this down just so you can look at it. But when we were doing substitution, okay, you probably had an equation, something like that on the first one, but the bottom one said like y equals 4x minus 2. Okay, so that's the big difference. And I set those up like that on purpose, but when we have y equals is when you're gonna use substitution. Okay, when you don't have a y by itself, you're gonna use elimination. Okay, so you can see by looking at it that there's no, out of the two equations, neither one of them says y equals. Okay, so some of our, I would love to be able to write you out steps like I did for substitution, but elimination, the steps are kind of the same, but they're different, okay? Because you're gonna have to cancel different things, okay? What does elimination mean? What's eliminate mean? Take it out, okay, so to get rid of, you ever like watch Squid Games? Yes, some people. Okay, so that's like they eliminated people. Okay, and so it's to get rid of something. Okay, so we're gonna look at these two equations, and I would still label them. Okay, equation 1, equation 2. Okay, so when you're looking at the variables, we're gonna look at which two have the same coefficient. So a coefficient is a number that is in front of the letter. Okay, so this has a 4 and this has a 1 for the y's. The x has a -1 and a 1. Okay, so you see how these x's has a 1 and a 1, so those match up. Okay, and so you're going to take the two equations and you're going to add them together. Okay, well, what is -1 plus 1? 0, and so our x's got eliminated. Okay, so, and then the y's, we got -4 plus -1 is going to be -5y equals -12 plus 2, -10. Okay, and then you kind of have to follow logical steps. What would the next step be? Divide by 5, or -5. Okay, so obviously, because we only have one variable left, you're going to solve for that variable. Okay, so you're going to get y equals 2.
Okay, I found this on the web for y equals 2. Check it out.
Okay, so now we have the y solved for. So you need to take that and you're going to plug it back into one of the original equations. Now, it does not matter which, because you're going to get the same answer either way. So which equation looks easier? Equation 1 or equation 2? Equation 2. Okay, now, if you chose equation 1, that's totally fine. So write down equation 2 just the way that it looked. Okay, now I put a bunch of 1s up there, but so I got x minus y equals 2. Okay, but you now know what y is. What is y? 2. So, and use parentheses no matter what. So we got x minus my y is 2 equals 2. Okay, and now I'm trying to solve for x. So I'm going to say plus 2 on both sides. And we got x equals 4. Just like substitution, you need to take those two things and write them in a coordinate form. So it should be parenthesis, what comes first? 4, comma 2. Okay, let's look at the next one. Go to 3. Okay, so same thing. Neither of those say y equals, which means you need to use elimination. So you're going to add the two, well, I'm going to label them. Okay, and then you're gonna add the two equations together. What's gonna cancel? The x's, why? One's -6, one's +6, so that lets you know what's gonna cancel. Okay, -6 plus a +6 is gonna be 0, okay? So I got 1y plus 5y is gonna give me 6y equals, what is -6 plus 6? 0. And then what? We're gonna divide by 6. So you're gonna get y equals 0. Which equation looks easier to solve? Now we're gonna plug it back in. Equation 1 or equation 2? 1. So I got -6x plus, and you can erase that 1 or you can leave it there, it doesn't matter. Plus my y is gonna be 0 equals -6. And a 0, you don't technically have to do anything with it, but we're gonna say -0. Okay, and just like substitution, you're gonna add or subtract and then divide. So I got -6x. -6 minus 0 is what? -6. And then we divide by -6. So we get x equals 1. Okay, and then lastly, you gotta write that as a coordinate, and you got 1 comma, oh my gosh, 1 comma 0. Can I scroll? Okay, 5. You're gonna label equation 1, equation 2. Okay, we're gonna add the two equations together. What's gonna cancel? The x's or the y's? The x's. Okay, we got one with a -6, one with a +6. Okay, so up here you're gonna 1y minus 3y is gonna be -2y equals, what is 10 plus -6? 4. Okay, and then we're gonna divide by -2. And I got y equals -2. Which equation looks easier to plug that back in? Equation 1. Okay, if you chose equation 2, like I said, that's totally fine. You're still gonna get the same answer no matter what. So I got -6x plus -2 equals 10. Okay, and I'm gonna erase this plus because this is gonna mess some of you guys up. Okay, the negative always trumps the plus sign, okay? Because then if you put plus -2, then some of you guys are gonna say minus -2, and you're screwed up. Okay, so we're gonna say plus 2 on both sides. Ten plus 2, 12. And then we're gonna divide by -6. You can get x equals -2. So your coordinate is going to be -2, comma -2. Okay, 7. We're gonna label. And then add them together. What's gonna cancel? No. The y's, okay? Because if you think about, and it's kind of hard to tell, so they both have a -4 in front, but a -4 plus a -4 is gonna give you what? -8, okay? So that's not actually gonna cancel. So I got a positive 1y and a negative 1y, those would cancel. So I'm gonna get -8x equals 0. Okay, and then we're gonna divide by -8. So we get x equals 0. Which equation looks easier to plug it in? The first one. Okay, they're really both gonna be the same, so it doesn't matter. We can use the first one. So I got -4, and you got 0 plus y equals 5. Okay, make sure that you're plugging that into the x. We solved for the x first this time, not the y. Okay, so what is -4 times 0? 0. So you're gonna get 0 plus y equals 5. Okay, and then you can subtract the 0. It's not gonna change anything. So we got y is gonna equal 5. So what's my coordinate gonna be? 0, 5. Okay, and then we're gonna cut it down a little bit today. Cross off number 9 and 10. Okay, you guys go through. You got 4 to do on your own. Okay, when you get done,